Griffiths, a quadruped with a pair of manipulating limbs, approached a friend fiddling with their personal terminal in the corner. Griffiths towered over the friend in a charcoal and neon green spacesuit, and with one of two manipulating limbs on the upper torso, gently tapped the top of the hard helmet with a single digit. Chris, the human in a spacesuit, realized a towering shadow on the terminal and looked up to see the towering alien friend. Griffiths looked at a black device even bigger than the personal terminal and asked the friend, "Hey Chris, I've been wondering, what's that bulky thing you always attach to your personal terminal?" "Oh, this is a surplus military comms device from Mars." Chris pointed at the black box with a finger. "I use it for my internet access to our species' network." Human internet is more like an intranet these days, with all those bands it got from other species. You are using military-grade encryption device from the planet, named after your deity of war, just to access an illicit communication network, banned in this planet. This is not exactly military-grade right now. The human tapped the bulky device lightly. This became surplus after it was pushed out into the civilian market. Something better made this obsolete in the military. It's still good for breaking through civilian censorship though. About that, Chris, why is human internet censored by hundreds of governments? I mean, your economic and cultural influence is massive in this planet, but I can't directly access your species' network. The human was silent for a few heartbeats, thinking about how to make a good explanation. Then the face behind the visor showed a row of incisors and fangs. Griffiths flinched. "You are from communication engineering, right? You should know most online services for individual species pre-FTL get additional preambles or modifiers in their domain address. That is, when a species' own network is integrated into the rest of the galaxy, to be exact. It applies to all but some rare exceptions, mostly ancient domains from ancient species, who had first come first served privileges. Do you know what is the oldest service in human internet among that rare exception?" The human received a strange stare from the above. "I did my homework in history of sentient communication networks, Chris. It's CERN, Karen. It's the domain for a human research institute, isn't it? That one has the constant domain address across all galaxy, for those who can access the human network, to be precise. Why do you ask me this?" Chris started to tweak buttons and touchscreens on the comms device. Made for both atmospheric and EVA use, the device had simple, large interface designed for gloved hands in mind. "I said service, not domain. CERN as a single organization doesn't exist anymore. It's now a collection of many institutions spread across multiple star systems, and none of them inherited the original name. Hence, the website serves no actual organizations now, and it is archived and maintained as an online historical heritage site. It's the oldest domain, but not the oldest service." The human checked the security of the connection for the final time, booted up an old browser, and loaded up a screen to enter unfamiliar commands. The browser displayed an illustration of a vertical cross-section of a certain human vegetable. "What's this?" Griffiths knew little about alien botany. "It's for services that you are not so proud to admit you use them," Chris answered. "I will now show you the single oldest human service with a galaxy-wide fixed domain name." The domain name was short and simple. For a sentient species to join the wider world so late, they couldn't snag a domain name so short and simple by themselves. Typing in domain address in human language, Chris continued an exposition. "Did you know, this domain was previously owned by a Yogg quintillionaire, and millions of human enthusiasts crowdfunded 34 O'Neill cylinders to buy the ownership from that quintillionaire. I always think the base generation are people of culture, and their finesse is very poetic in unexpected occasions." Chris ended the short domain address with 3 presses on the same key and pressed return on the screen with a gloved finger. An illustration of a human female with a scant outfit appeared, with a long white rectangle expanded horizontally beneath the illustration. Beneath both of them was a piece of human calligraphy, which seemed to repeat the short domain name in an old pre-interplanetary era human typeface. "I think I never saw a human with an outfit so exposing," Rufus said in astonishment as the quadruped looked up and down the friend in a spacesuit. "Are all humans shaped like this inside their spacesuits? Are you wondering if I look like this on the inside? Hell no. She is just a fantasized illustration of our females. Anyway, name any concept, nouns, verbs, adjectives, anything. It doesn't matter if it is from something unique, like individual species or persons." Rufus scratched the long neck with several digits. Those species. Who were they? The previous owner of this domain before humans. "Oh my, you asked for something really nasty," Chris replied in a worried voice. "I wish you wouldn't be sorry for this." With keystrokes, Chris made a phrase, "Yogs," appear in the white rectangle, and again pressed the button return. Then, Chris handed over the terminal to Rufus as the screen slowly loaded up its contents through a labyrinthine network of proxies. Rufus looked into the results. There were hand-drawn flat illustrations, computer-generated 3-dimensional renders, and displayable holograms, all featuring individuals from the same species. Individuals from wise, venerable species, with an amorphous body and a glowing skin. Rufus's face wrinkled up. Looking at the response, the human's visor rang with a succession of short, windy noises. "How? What? Why? How?" Rufus stammered. Rufus handed the terminal back to Chris, who, after looking at what the friend had just seen, looked up to the distraught friend with a huge disbelief on the face. "Humans will try to create anything that is physically possible into existence. That is what the world says about our species. That is a serious underestimation. If something can be conceivable, even if it is a pure fiction in our minds, it already exists in this world, without exception, mostly, as these." I have to lie down." Chris could see Rufus's all 4 legs trembling. The towering body collapsed to the floor, with the upper torso curling into the belly, 2 manipulating limbs wrapped around the head. Rufus started to sob on the floor. "I need to unknow that thing. That vaccine thing, your internet is cursed. That thing should never enter the rest of the galaxy. That thing flowing through your internet must be sealed forever, like the gray goo flowing through your veins. I want to unremember this. Please, I can't stand knowing something like that thing exists. Come on, I'm sure there will be something for your taste." The human tried to reassure Rufus. "Let's see if I search with your species as the keyword." "Please don't." Rufus kept sobbing. I can't handle your species' madness. Your species' mind is cursed. One look into that abyss felt like something is chewing up my mind. Like all those perfectly fine habitable planets that your species chewed up into death worlds through so-called terraforming. I will throw myself naked into vaxing outer space, then see more of those search results. I'm sorry. I should have known better." Chris squatted on the floor to adjust to the friend's face on the floor. "I mean, the Yogg quintillionaire was totally fine when they sold the domain to humans, and the quintillionaire already knew what our artists will do with their species, from their transcendental perspective that lies beyond 4D space-time. I thought this should be bearable enough for other species too. Do you need help, Rufus?" I think I need sedatives, amnesiacs, and a good rest." Rufus looked desperate. "Your injections. Can you shoot them up into my system?" Chris shook the head sideways. "I don't think I can help you with that, Rufus. That is for broadcasting emergency override commands to nanomachines in our bodies, not for direct action to the physiology common in all species. Then, Rufus looked up. Take me to the infirmary, please. Okay, Chris tweaked the panel installed on the suit's forearm. Let's see if I can support your weight when I set my suit's actuators on supercharge mode for high gravity worlds. Can you stand up? Thank you, Rufus replied, weakly. And please, don't tell anyone else, humans have that thing openly available in your network. Why would I? The human shrugged with one arm, as the other was helping up the distressed friend. They won't be accessing them anytime soon. Human internet is banned by hundreds of governments, and this planet is under one of dozens of governments, which flag our internet as a cognito info hazard. The two briefly teetered as they stood up, until the human in the spacesuit firmly supported the weak friend, with a faint whirring noise down from the spacesuit's upper torso. Here, I think my spacesuit can bear your weight. By the way, you're not going to tell what happened as is to doctors, aren't you? Chris looked up to the friend's tired face and asked with a worried voice. Clearly, they couldn't tell anyone. They were browsing through an illicit communication channel, openly known to mess with people's mind. No, I will just say, I hurt myself by mistake. Rufus could feel short vibrations from one side of the lower torso, the side currently in contact with the friend's helmet. Haha. That's technically the truth. Really sorry for today, Rufus. I think I owe you a good drink and a lot of wholesome cat videos next time. If you're going to show me pictures of predators from your cursed network, I will refuse. Oh, too bad. Then double drinks after this. Now, let's go together and unknow those abominations. Ludyog pics. Nope. Author's name and the link to original text is in the description.